Instep Young Leaders is part of Priority One's youth program. Today, alongside the 3 councils here in the Bay of Plenty, the students were thrown into a mock council setup where they voiced their opinions and learnt firsthand how a local government works.
It's really amazing to have the Instep young leaders engaged in democracy, and from what I've heard today, all of the young leaders have been quite amazed by how many decisions do get made in local government. Perhaps they hadn't reflected on that before, and how important decision making is. So I always say democracy is a doing word, it's an active word, so everybody needs to be actively engaged in it. And I think today our young leaders got a taste for that, which will inspire them to continue to engage with democracy. These are our leaders, our young leaders now, and they are our future leaders. Nearly all the decisions we make in council are long-term decisions that we're making, impacts through climate change, all sorts of things, infrastructure that is going to take years in the pipeline to build. So the decisions we make today are actually for the futures of these young people and for their whānau. So having that connection and listening to what they need really supports us being able to make those right decisions for the future. Democracy has become very confusing for our rangatahi. Sometimes they feel their voice isn't heard, and what's the point because decisions just get made without me. I think in previous generations it was more obvious, but now there's a lot of noise with social media, with misinformation, disinformation, global news and situations going on outside of their community. It's harder, I think, for young people to see, okay, here's where I can help make a good decision, or here's where I can advocate for me and my people. So that's really important, and I think the more connected people are to the decision making, the more they can see outcomes that they feel they want coming through. Being able to get involved in democracy, whether that's your community club, whether it's local government politics, whether it's central government politics, get enrolled to vote, and vote wherever you can. It might be for TECT, it might be for community trust funds, it might be for charitable organisations, all sorts of things. But politics, if you're not there voting, then you can't really have your say.
I think what I learned and what kind of surprised me was that it's not a completely formal occasion. There's a lot going on at once. I think now it's incredibly important to vote because I can see that now I've seen it in person. There's a lot more important decisions going on than what I recently thought. So I think that voting is very important.
I like that there was a lot of room for discussion, that they don't just go in and say, this is what we're doing, this is what we want to do, asking the community and having specialists to give them information so that they can make informed decisions. Very, very important as people, particularly a lot of young people nowadays. We do have a lot of opinions. We're a lot more argy-bargy than former generations, and I think we need to use our voices and to actually inflict change, because a lot of times people have opinions and have views and then they don't actually use their power to change stuff. And so I think voting allows people to actually have their say and say, look, I wanted this and I voted for this.
I think what surprised me was the amount of discussion that's had. It's not just bam on the table, this is what we're doing, it's set in stone. There's a lot of leeway into where the council wants to go based on community feedback. We need to listen to rangatahi because we are rangatira moapo for making the spaces that we have engagement in less intimidating. You need to be the change you want to see. So if you're not voting, then your voice isn't heard. The councillors aren't mind readers. They can't know what you want if you're not telling them what you want or not voting for who you think will empower your voice the most. I think voting is a way to flip the system and say, actually, this is what we want as a rangatahi Māori to be a better change.
We can't wait to see how the students and their confidence grows throughout the year.